Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charlie Curvada, and I'm here with another Q&A installment. It's been a while since the last one, so I did receive a few more emails, so we're going to go ahead and address that today. The first question I got is, what do you do in your spare time? And my response, usually when anybody says the word spare time, is, what is that? Um, I I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know that I have a day job. This is not the only thing that I do. I work Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And when I come home, I have my husband and my son and my house and myself and my family and my social life. And of course, this whole empire that I'm trying to build that consumes a lot of my spare time. So I'm usually consumed with running errands, having meetings, reviewing photographs, trying to work on stuff for the next upcoming project. So there's a lot of time management that's involved, but I'm not so sure I have a whole lot of spare time. My weekends are usually pretty much filled with grocery shopping, cooking, cleaning, and laundry, so that during the week I can spend my free time either meeting up with people that I haven't seen in a while or taking care of business. So it's a full-time job on top of a full-time job, and I make time for the people in my life when I can. So that's pretty much it. But I mean, if I had a whole lot of spare time, I would probably spend more of it at the beach, kicking back a few drinks with some friends, taking in movies when they're actually out in theaters. Dancing is a big favorite of mine that I haven't been able to do in quite some time. So I love dancing. I'd probably work out a lot more than I have been lately. So I, I admit I need to get better about that. But I don't know. I'm kind of a creature of habit. I kind of like to try new things. Just because of time commitments, I like to stay a little bit local, but I'm always kind of down to try something new. I'm not very outdoorsy, though. I'm not into the whole camping and hiking and nature thing. It's just not my deal. So I like shopping. I'm a girl. I think that's really about it. I mean, I'm always open to new ideas. So if anybody has any suggestions for something I should try the next time I have spare time, I'm all for it. Uh, the other email that I got was somebody who asked me how I got my start. How did I get started in all this madness? Um, there's a lot of backstory to that. And if you wanted to trace it all the way back, it would go back to about 2003. There was a website called VBW Times. It was an online publication. This was kind of before the entire mainstream legitimate plus modeling avenue had branched out. And there was really only one option for plus size women in the modeling industry. So I got involved in a little bit of, I'd say, modeling with more of an adult connotation to it. Um, and that kind of led to a bunch of different opportunities for people who were just starting to come into the community that were trying to make a difference and saying, hey, we've got these girls out here who have all this confidence and we really need to start building up this industry. Um, I kind of took it in a different direction, and that took me to the curvaceousmagazine.com model search in 2004. And I think I kind of went in there not expecting really for anything to happen, for anything to come of that. I really just kind of wanted to go for the experience and try my luck at it and, see if it would pay off at all. So, for those who know and are keeping track, I ended up winning the cover model search for the August 2004 relaunch. So that's kind of when this whole thing really started to take a new direction for me. And then I got involved with Bodacious Magazine, and then there was Plush Cat Club, until ultimately I ended up being one of the top 10 finalists on the first season of Monique's Fat Chance on the Oxygen Network. So things have just kind of spiraled into their own little world. And going back, I guess that's how you could say I got my start. I just kind of started to put myself out there and take chances and hook up with people and connect with people who were trying to make waves in the industry, and basically involving myself in as much as I possibly could and establishing my name in that fashion. So that's really how I got my start. Um, Where is your favorite place to shop? Oh, Lord. It depends on what we're talking about. I mean, if we're talking makeup, of course, you'll find me at the Mac store. Sometimes at Target, it depends. But I'm really, really a huge fan of Mac. Um, if we're talking clothing, I've got to go with Torrid. Torrid is like my end all be all for all things fashion, accessories, uh, pretty much everything. So, Torrid for clothing, sometimes shoes. I'm a big Payless freak. I'm a fan of the BOGO. I love the buy one get one half off. I'm still somewhat of a cheap Mexican, so I like not ever paying full price for anything. But I think Payless has really stepped it up a notch as far as the designers that they're pulling from and the shoes that they're starting to get. So I do a lot of my shoe shopping at Payless usually during the BOGO sales, but every once in a while, I hit up Torrid. When they have their really good sales too. So that's pretty much it. But majority of my clothing, when you guys see me out and about, it's most likely Torrid. Um, Somebody else wrote in and asked, "What are some of your vices?" I have a lot. I am not gonna lie. We're all human, but I'm probably more human than most. And I think some of my vices are makeup, most definitely. I own more makeup than I think I will ever use in my lifetime. Most of the time on a day to day basis, I don't take the time to put on eyeshadow, but I'll sure as shit buy some when I'm out. So, makeup, shoes, I think I probably have more shoes than I need to last me for the rest of the year throughout seasons, and I still go out and buy more. I'm addicted to heels. No matter how many times I've gone out and attempted to buy flats, I always come home with heels. So I don't have any comfortable shoes in my shoe collection with the exception of flip-flops and gym shoes. And sometimes neither of those are just acceptable for going out and trying to have a good time. So, pens. I'm a little bit of a pen freak. If I see a pen that I like, I will most likely just go klepto and take it from you. These are my favorites, actually. These Uniball, what is this, Vision Elite gel pens. I got a 12 pack of these from Costco. There was like 9 black and 3 blue for like $12. And I've had people try and jack these from me that have lost limbs. So it's gel ink. It's a medium tip. I don't do fine tip pens. I have some quirks about myself that people don't get. Fine tip pens is one of them. I can't do them. They have to be medium point, and I prefer gel ink. We'll talk about my wacky food quirks maybe at some point. My other vice is sushi. I never, ever, ever, never say no to sushi, and sometimes that's a downfall because, I mean, it's one of those things where if you go to the right sushi place, you can probably spend a lot of money on some raw fish and rice. So, makeup, shoes, pens, sushi, vices, that's pretty much a good way to get my attention. My friend Tony submitted a question for me. He asked what my biggest pet peeve is. I've got two, and they kind of play into each other. The first one being time commitments. I cannot stand being late. Being late stresses me out and makes me a very, very unhappy Charlie. I don't like being late. I don't like it when people are late. I don't like running behind. I run on a very set time schedule because traffic in anywhere in Southern California that you go anymore, it's not even just Los Angeles, but anywhere in Southern California, it's iffy. So I would rather leave early and err on the side of caution and show up with time to spare and fiddle around than to be cutting it close at the last minute, to where I end up being stressed out and pissed off by the time I finally get to where I'm going. So sometimes that just doesn't work for me at all. The other one, and it kind of ties into a time commitment also, is communication. I don't care if you think what you're going to tell me might piss me off, because more often than not, it probably won't. I expect great deals of communication from the people in my life. Emails, phone calls, text messages, honesty. I just need for people to talk to me, because the one thing that I cannot stand, and this was really, really important for me even in when I met Chad, I don't like mind games, and I don't like playing guessing games, and I don't like trying to guess if you really mean one thing when you're saying another thing, and if you say yes, did you really mean no, and if you say you're going to call, are you really not going to call? I expect full-blown communication. If I'm pissing you off, if I'm annoying you, if you think I talk too much, I need to know. Because my whole thing is, if you don't tell me, you don't give me the opportunity to fix it. So I always make sure that I come to people when I'm feeling like, dude, you need to stop. Or you're pissing me off. Or it annoys the crap out of me when you do this. Or, you know what, I really just don't think I'm going to go at all. Stuff like that. Like, I understand that people might be a little bit disappointed because we're all human and we're all a little bit selfish and we're entitled to these feelings. But I think for the people in my life, they would probably rather know than not know. And I would rather tell them than keep them guessing and leave them hanging and have them just never say anything to me again. So, communication, especially if you're running late. I'm the first person where if I even think there's a slight possibility I'm going to be late, I'll pick up a phone and text somebody while I'm driving and let them know that I'm possibly going to be late. Just to give them that heads up, a little bit of forewarning. If I end up being on time, if I end up being early, great. At least you were prepared if I showed up 10 minutes late. So the communication and the time commitment issue, one and the same for me, biggest pet peeve. The last question that I'm going to leave you guys with, and this was probably one that I think I should address, what is going on with CharlieCurvada.com? I think a lot of people, including myself, when I staged the comeback and started talking about the website, were expecting for CharlieCurvada.com to come back and be an entity of its own. Meaning models, galleries, tons of photos, news, releases, yada, 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 yada. And it hasn't worked out that way. And I think there's a reason for everything happening the way that it is happening. And CharlieCurvada.com is up. It's basically it's a central hub for you to link up to the podcast website, for you to link up to the Facebook website, and I probably should put a link up to my YouTube website as well. But I really think that this is going to go in a different direction than initially planned. I've got some things in the works right now that I am sworn to confidentiality over. But I will tell you this. I have been given a position with an entity run by a group of folks who are completely legit to create the forum that CharlieCurvada.com probably could have been, but on a much grander scale. It's been a lot of meetings, it's been a lot of emails, it's been a lot of constant communication, it's been a lot of sleepless nights, late nights, a lot of missed socialization, and dying phone batteries. But I think when this happens, and you guys all get to share in this with me, it's going to be worth it, because I think this is kind of what everybody's waiting for. So CharlieCurvada.com, realistically, in the bigger picture, is a minor piece of the puzzle. And with bigger things in the works, I really feel that where I am now is exactly where I need to be. So I have no plans to embellish CharlieCurvada.com at this very moment. It will remain a hub. I will keep the podcast going. I will keep the YouTube videos coming. Eventually there will be Ustream. So we'll be doing a lot of these podcasts with audio and video. But as far as launching a site with video galleries and photo galleries and anything like that, or any type of online publication, it's just not in the works at this very point. But I promise you guys, if you stay tuned, it's definitely going to be worth it. So please, please, please keep the questions coming. And you can send them to my email, charliecurvada@gmail.com, or if you're my friend on Facebook, you can inbox me there. I'm hoping to try and do these videos at least once a week to keep you guys informed and up to date. No question is too personal, so please feel free to send me your questions and ask away.